What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I wanted to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the overall market so far, as we had some new news involving Israel and Iran, news about Tesla and other things coming out which are very important for the markets. We also have some big things coming out for Tesla for next week, so I'm going to break down all those details. But let me first say that I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. And deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 of them. And the offer ends very soon in just about 11 days. Anyways, for Tesla, as you can see on the chart, we rejected off our 20 EMA many times. I can actually go back on the chart and talk about this for a while. But look at the last couple of days for the week. We rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus times off our 20 EMA. Tesla's also respecting a downtrend, and the stock is still looking kind of weak so far. Now, even though the share price is dipping, it's respecting a downtrend, and there's no sign of a true bounce yet. I just want to note that we have more catalysts that will affect Tesla for next week, so I want to break down what they are. The first thing worth noting is that Israel has mounted airstrikes on Iran. That's very important as the US confirmed that. But as of right now, Iranian officials are not really indicating any immediate plans for retaliation. Let me just say that Israel is doing this after Iran retaliated before over the weekend. So Israel has a counterattack that just happened. And now the question is, will Iran retaliate again? So once again, I just want to say that the tensions are very high right now. Things are very tense. We have new enemies and a bunch of other things going on. It's a very, horrible situation, if anything. But nothing is guaranteed. That's my most important claim right now. We haven't heard enough from the war cabinet of Iran. We haven't heard anything else from them. We're just talking about some officials saying that there's no immediate plan for retaliation, but it's still a possibility that they could keep on going back. So I just want to say that this whole situation is not necessarily out of the water just yet. It hasn't fully eased right now. I wouldn't necessarily calm down and get my guard down, if anything. So I'd be prepared for anything, especially over the weekend, as new pieces of news could come out which could affect the markets. I'll be watching for this so far. This was a contributing factor as to why the market dipped, not to mention yields going up because the Fed has been a lot more hawkish lately with higher inflation coming out, not to mention more and more other factors out there, such as cyclicals affecting the markets. Now, for Tesla, I just want to mention that it's also going to be somewhat affected by all this data. The next thing worth noting is what's happening with economic data. Monday is going to be very minor. We just have some bill auctions. Tuesday is going to be a little bit more important as we have PMI data plus some manufacturing numbers coming out. Wednesday is going to be very minor for next week. We just have a couple of things, nothing too much. And Thursday and Friday will be more important as we have GDP numbers coming out for Thursday and initial jobless claims, and then more manufacturing numbers. And then for Friday, we have PCE data coming out. That's going to be very important. It's going to affect the market, so we'll be watching for that. For data, Tuesday will be more important, and then Thursday and Friday, the end of the week will be more significant than the beginning. But for earnings, we have huge earnings coming out, especially for Tesla. Firstly, on Monday, we have Verizon. Then we have a few others. On Tuesday, we have GM and UPS. You can see them right here. We also have Tesla coming out after the market closes on Tuesday, announcing its earnings. And this is going to be very important for the share price. And that's very quickly. So Tesla's going to trade on Monday, then trades again on Tuesday. And then Tuesday after market close, we have earnings coming out. So Tesla has very limited time until earnings come out, and we'll see what the share price does. Typically, the share price goes up approaching its earnings on most days. The expectations are not the highest for this earnings. So the move to the upside might be very minor, may not even do too much. And then a big move is coming by the time we open on Wednesday. Tesla's going to make a big move. For Wednesday, we have Boeing and AT&T announcing earnings in the morning, then Meta and IBM and Ford. For Thursday, we have Microsoft, Alphabet, Intel, Roku, and a lot of these big tech stocks, not to mention ExxonMobil on Friday. But Tesla's going to be very important on Tuesday. Can't wait to see what they announce. It's going to be very important. Their guidance is going to be key. The market cares more about guidance. The news is coming out about the whole recall that happened to the Cybertrucks. We saw just under 4,000 of them being recalled because of an accelerator issue. It's very important that they take care of this because Elon Musk was saying that Tesla's prioritizing safety, and that's very important for them. So with this news coming out, we had just under 3,900 of the Cybertrucks being recalled, and this is a real recall. Then HTSA got involved, and then there's also news coming out about Tesla laying off more employees. So it is what it is. This has been a little bit negative so far. And with this news coming out, Tesla did dip a bit, and also because of the overall market dipping amidst what's going on with Israel, and also because of yields continuing to skyrocket. So all of this is kind of connected. The market is very fearful right now. Fear is making up the majority of sentiment. Market momentum is dipping to neutral, and we're starting to see more and more fear. The puts and call options are on extreme fear right now. Market volatility is extremely fearful, and nothing's really changing so far as fear is emerging. Now, the fear and greed index overall is getting very close to that extreme, and usually when we hit this extreme, we might see the market rebound a bit. So I'll be watching to see if that's a possibility. Deutsche Bank gave Tesla a hold rating, saying they used to say buy Tesla, and others saying just hold on to your shares. They changed their view so far. We also had a price ratio dip on Tesla's. Tesla's showing some relative weakness. In terms of seasonality, we tend to be green at 53% of the time on Mondays, but then we'll see what earnings cause after that. And that's pretty much it in terms of like some data for it. Then we also have, right over here, Tesla's volume at about 87 million. That is still below average. So Tesla is still looking weak. Let me just be honest with everyone. The share price has consistently rejected. It's still on this big downtrend. But we're going to be watching to see if we can get some kind of bounce thanks to its earnings. But as of right now, there's no sign of a bounce approaching earnings. There's no sign just yet. It's still just trying to base at this 146.5 support. If we lose that, watch 145, then 142. We have resistance at 148.5. If we break that, look for 150, then eventually 152. As of right now, we're kind of weak. We're kind of dipping right here, but I'm going to be watching to see if we could hold 145. That's a strong support on Tesla. So I'll be very patient in the process of watching this as Tesla's come down to fill its gap, and I'll be watching to see if we get some kind of bounce or not. As of right now, there's no sign of the bounce, so I'm going to be waiting for this going into next week, and the share price could dip a little bit more, could retest this 145 range before we see something else. So we're bearish so far. I could change my view intraday going into Monday if we do end up holding 145, but we have to wait for confirmation because the share price is bearish, and there's still a lot of news that could be coming out involving this whole Israel situation, by the way, so I'm going to be waiting for all of that over the weekend. Nvidia is dipping a little bit. The share price looks a little bit more bearish right now. We're going to be watching the 750 support, see if we could base very close to 750, and if we get a bounce off of that, it might dip a little bit more looking at the daily candlestick, and then we'll see how it goes from there, so be very, very patient. For SPY, I'm going to make a more in-depth video on this a little bit later, but just know that we're kind of downtrending right now. We're on a very, very nice downtrend. Watch 493 is support. If we lose this, 491 is coming, and then eventually 490. We have resistance at 496. If we break through this, I'm going to be looking for a push for 490, basically the 497.5 area at the 20 EMA, then 500. So we have a downtrend on SPY. It's showing a weakness again and again and again. And with this, kind of dipping, we could dip a little bit more. There's no sign of a bounce yet. Don't listen to people who are saying we will bounce. We don't know yet. I think it could bounce. It's a possibility, but there's no sign on the chart yet. We have to wait and see for confirmation. At the very least, we haven't even closed above our 20 EMA. See this green line right here? We keep on rejecting off of it. This happened, 5 times already? It keeps happening. We keep rejecting off this green line, right? The 20 EMA. It hasn't even gone above that yet. So why are people talking about a bounce that's coming? There's no sign of it yet. So give it some time. Yes, it could dip a bit more, but I do believe there's a possibility that a bounce could come next week. But that's going to depend on earnings and data, and we have to wait for confirmation, in my personal opinion. That is the best move to make. For the QQQ, we look very bearish, just like SPY. We're consistently rejecting off our 20 EMA. We rejected. So right here are some levels on it. We have 416 as our key resistance zone. If we break through that, watch 418.5. That's going to be our next level. That's very significant. And if we break that, watch 420 to 421. Our support's at 413. If we lose this, 410 is coming. As of right now, the QQQ is looking a bit more bearish, but we have to wait and see if we can get a bounce. I'll be watching 413 to see if we base here. If not, 410. The share price is still dropping, so give it some time. And last but not least, we have Aapl stock. Apple's on a downtrend, just like Tesla and the others. We keep rejecting off our 20 EMA. Rejected like 5-6 times off of this. See this? It rejected. Still on a very, very big downtrend. We have 164.5 as support and also 164. If we lose that, look for 163.5 and then 162.5. As of right now, it's looking a bit more bearish, but it is trying to base at 164.5. I'll give it some credit for that. So I think that it could dip a little bit more, but then we're going to be watching to see if we can base here, because every time Apple has hit 165 historically, it does like to bounce. So we'll see if we can get a bounce on Apple. There's no sign yet. We have imbalances to fill. So I'm going to be watching for this going into next week if we do end up basing here. So watch to see if we can get back above 165 and close above it. If we do so, it could try to rebound. There's no sign yet, but we have to give it some time. With that being said, thank you for listening. Hopefully this video was insightful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you, and peace out.